want to welcome you all to our Graham County Board of Supervisor meeting. Today is October 6th. And I want to thank you all for coming. Hope you had a very nice weekend. We're going to call our meeting to order, and I've asked Manager Welker to lead us in the public Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Manager Welker. Hannah, do we have anyone online today? Thank you, and welcome to those online. Can we get a motion to approve our minutes of the regular meeting and work session held on September 15th?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Can we get a motion to approve our demands and handwritten warrants?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we go ahead and approve and for payment the demands and handwritten warrants on the county.
I'll second that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We'll now turn the time over to Sheriff Allred.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Morning.
So yeah, I have a couple of items this morning. The first item is we're asking the approval to purchase an unbudgeted capital for ADV, however you say that, Evolution 20-inch, 1500 RPM burnisher. It's a floor waxer. All right, that's what it is. It's a industrial, okay, for our facility, for our jail. We're very proud of our facility, very proud of our detention facility, and we've had people go through and look it over for us and check it, and I mean, it's new. We want to keep it as good as we can, and they work very hard at it. They're always polishing, they're always doing stuff inside of our detention facility, and yeah, the last one, it broke down and can't fix it, so we're asking if we can purchase another one so we can do our upkeep in our facility.
Great. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you for explaining that, Sheriff, because I didn't know what a burnisher was either, so a floor polisher is a lot easier for us country guys like me and you. So I appreciate your efforts of keeping the jail up to standards on this project, so thank you.
Supervisor.
I'll just make a motion that we go ahead and approve, and it is under $3,000, this floor polisher for the sheriff's office and the jail.
And I will second that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And my next item I have is the approval of a GOHS grant agreement. It's an amount of $10,000 for the step overtime detail and $14,737 for DUI overtime detail, travel and DUI supplies expenses that way. This is something that we do yearly, and our folks use it, and we're grateful to have that also to help and assist the county and the sheriff's office in these efforts.
You bet. You bet. Questions, comments?
It's great to see you guys are still adamantly working on these kind of things, DUI, make our highways safe, so I applaud you for that as well. Thank you for your efforts.
I had a question, Sheriff, and that is, with the changes in who the director of that department, and also the budgetary constraints, I couldn't find the trends. Is this as much as, more than, less than previous years? You know, how are we trending with this? And you know, I'm just curious. Not that it changed the outcome
Well,
today.
I think it's a little bit less than what we typically get or receive. I really don't know the answer as to why they give us less as far as that goes, but there's enough there to help us, you know, that's coming out of their coffers and assist us with our patrol and our DUIs and things like that.
Very good.
But I can try to find out why it's a little less.
I mean, if we not that we're all that effective. We'd like to think we're effective, but if we can advocate for you at the state level and the Governor's Office of Highway Safety and ADOT, whatever, Governor's Office, we'd be glad to do it. We just need to know if we're getting less, we need to say, hey, we're getting less. Our county's growing. We need more.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I could speculate as to why I think we're getting less, but that's all it would be.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I'll go ahead and make a motion then, and that we certainly have the need, and there's enforcement as well as people who are not following the rule of law when they're driving. So we definitely need these funds and increased patrolling. So I would move that we approve the $10,000 for step overtime details and $14,737 for DUI overtime for our sheriff's office.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Gentlemen, thank you so very much.
Thank you, Sheriff. Appreciate you being here today. And I'll turn the time over to Eric Engel with our engineering department.
Good morning. This is for approval of the 10th Amendment to our Tetra Tech Professional Service Agreement, which modifies the scope and fee. What's that? Want a next little detail? Sure. So the original contract, they left out a cultural resource survey, and NRCS determined that it needed to be in there for the project to be complete, and so Tetra Tech came back and gave us a cost estimate for that, and we're just putting it on as an amendment to the original contract. So that fee is like $50-something thousand, and the grant that we have within RCS would cover that.
Okay.
And
Questions?
maybe someday,
from the board?
Eric, we'll get through this
Yep.
deal down there. Appreciate your efforts and staying on top of it.
I'm in solidarity with Eric and concerned. You know, it's not our $58,000, but it's the federal government's $58,000, and maybe in the future, as the NEPA policies are changed, we can quit providing full employment to everyone who graduates with an archaeology degree from the university to go sift through our disturbed dirt and looking for pottery shards and an opportunity to write a paper. So if it wasn't absolutely necessary in order for us to get the final set of plans, I would say let's postpone it or cancel it. That's not the case. We have to do it in order to get the plans and in order to go back to NCRS or NRCS and get additional funding to actually construct some of the flood mitigation. So I'll reluctantly make a motion that we go ahead and approve this 10th Amendment with Tetra Tech.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Eric. Now hear from Brian Douglas with our health department.
Good morning.
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 We're requesting approval of STD Infection Investigation IGA Amendment 2. In this amendment, it includes an updated price sheet, laboratory and testing requirements, and treatment procedures. The IGA updates, this update is not requiring us to do anything in addition or extra. It's just mentioning what we're now doing, and it's just being clarified within the amendment. Also, with next year's funding with this amendment, our funding was reduced by $900 annually.
Okay. Thank you, Brian.
I have no question.
Questions?
The reduction, just like with the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, is this basically a belt tightening at the state level, or is this because we're reporting fewer, which is good, if it is representative, reporting fewer cases of STDs and syphilis and the other illnesses, transmitted illnesses?
Right. With this particular reduction in funding, it's due to cases. There's less cases. 3 years ago, This fund was increased by almost $13,000. And because there's a small reduction, that our funding's been reduced as
Okay.
well.
Well, that's good. So we're not.
It's working.
We're not getting squeezed out. We're just having fewer reports.
Correct.
So, but we're still vigilant, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the STD infection investigations IG agreement amendment 2.
I'll second Supervisor Howard's motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate you. All right. We'll now turn the time over to Manager Welker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Just 2 items under the board this morning. This first item, as you know, anything that's not budgeted that's over $2,500 is considered capital. So we are required to come to the board for approval. This particular item was an AC unit that went down in dispatch. And in July and August, we typically don't wait to come to the board to ask to buy AC units. We just replace them. So we appreciate the board for understanding that. We had an AC unit go down in dispatch, so we had to replace it. I think it was 22 years old, so we got some pretty good mileage out of it. So this request is to ratify the purchase that's already happened of an unbudgeted capital item, which was an AC unit for dispatch in the amount of $8,997.
Yeah, we certainly have to keep up that air conditioning unit, especially for our dispatch folks down there. They do a lot for our county. They're sitting there relentlessly out for hours taking these calls, so I'm glad we were able to do that on a timely basis.
Thank you, Supervisor. I had a question, Chairman, and that is for Dustin, and that is the do we have we got enough manpower to be able to put together a list of our AC units, which are as old or are getting much older, and we can anticipate being replaced? Do we have a way of quantifying that so that we can not that we don't have enough in our general fund, but it would just be nice for budgeting purposes to know what is likely to be needed for a replacement.
Thank you, Vice Chairman David. We could do that. We do have an inventory, of course. We service them on a monthly basis, so we certainly know what we have and how old they are. And that exact question is what our CFO, Julie Rodriguez, asked me last week, if we should just budget a replacement for anything over 15 years old. And so we've thought about that, and we can talk about that next budget year. It's certainly not a bad idea at all.
Well, I don't want to create a paper chase if it has no value, but if it has value and we have the time to put it together, I'm just wondering if that would be a good tool.
It would be really easy to do,
Okay.
and it would just be a matter if we wanted to budget those or not, and it doesn't hurt either way. These funds today come out of our contingency, and we could just move, rather than budget them out of contingency like we are right now for unforeseen items like this. We can just budget it as something that could happen, and if it doesn't happen, then it just doesn't, then the budget in that line item just doesn't happen. So
Very good.
It's easy either way.
Okay, and final comment is that even though we have this unplanned expense, if you take a 20-year-old unit and you're with the new technology, we're getting a 30-40% increase in efficiency and reduction in our costs, which of course is with the cyclical climate change that we're experiencing, maybe we break even as far as the cost. But anyway, it's great. I'd go ahead and won't belabor the point anymore. Make a motion that we go ahead and ratify this. This is purchase already made. It's installed. They've got cool air, and approve the unbudgeted purchase of that.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. Next, we will have the opportunity to hear from Tori Cranford from the SBDC on the proclamation for National Women's Small Business Month. Thank you for being here, Tori.
Good morning, Chairman, Supervisors, and our community members. Thank you so much for taking the time today to recognize National Women's Small Business Month. October is a time to celebrate the many women who've taken the leap into entrepreneurship, women who bring creativity, courage, and determination to everything they do. Across the country, women-owned businesses are one of the fastest growing segments of our economy, and their impact goes far beyond numbers. They create jobs, support families, and build stronger, more connected communities. Here in Graham County, we are surrounded by amazing examples of that spirit. From restaurants and boutiques to professional services and home-based businesses, women are leading the way. Safford's very own Main Street is proof of that, full of women entrepreneurs who are investing their time, their talent, and their heart into revitalizing our community. National Women's Small Business Month is a reminder that behind every storefront and every small business is a woman who believed in an idea, took a chance, and worked tirelessly to make it real. These women embody what it means to be dedicated, not just to their businesses, but to their families and their community that they love. So today we say thank you to all the women business owners in Graham County for your vision, your perseverance, and the example you set for others. And thank you to the Board of Supervisors for recognizing and celebrating them. You're helping shine a light on the heart and strength of our community. So on behalf of the Small Business Development Center at Eastern Arizona College, thank you for your continued support of our local entrepreneurs and for helping us celebrate National Women's Small Business Month.
Awesome. Thank you, Tori, and thank you again for being here. And we do have some amazing women business owners in our community, and we're very blessed to have them. Did anybody have anything?
I was just sitting here counting the businesses alone on Main Street, what we have there, and the women are responsible for probably 80% of them, I would say, and they keep them growing, not only on Main Street, but throughout the valley. And I will give a tribute to the small business down at EAC for your efforts of what you do with the women and the dream building and all the other projects that you do. It's amazing, so thank you for your efforts. It's much well deserved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to for the proclamation of National Women's Small Business Month.
And I'm pleased to second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you, Tori.
Thank you, Tori. All right, we'll now take this opportunity for members of the Board of Supervisors and the County Manager to present a brief summary of current events. And we will start with Manager Welker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I'll be a little more brief today. I did want to point out Sheriff Allred, when he was up here, mentioned the new jail facility, and we've had that facility for almost 10 years, so I appreciate they can still consider it new, and if you walk through there, it does look new. They've done a very good job taking care of that, and we're very, very proud of our jail, and it's been an incredible asset, probably one of the best things the county's done in the last century is been able to build that jail. It's been a huge improvement. So thank you, Sheriff, Undersheriff, for taking care of that facility up there. We appreciate it. Just a couple project updates. We've been working for several months on the building plans for the Main Street building remodel, and we'll open those bids here in a little bit. Our parking lots at the fairgrounds are pretty much complete. The only thing we have left to do is paint the lines, parking spots on those. That ended up being a 4.5 acre improvement of parking lots, and appreciate everyone that worked on it. Our highway department did a final grade, oiled them while we had our boot truck here for our roads, and roll them after that. So they look really good. We still have some work to do on them, but we appreciate everyone that's worked on those. After this meeting, we're gonna have a work session to discuss an ongoing problem, also a century-long problem, which is blight in our community. We have an attorney here that will be here, Kent Volkmer, and he's coming down from Maricopa. He's one of our contract attorneys, and he's been working on a clean and lean presentation and ordinance for us, so we'll have that later after this meeting. Out at the fairgrounds, our guys have been incredibly busy getting that ready for our big weekend, which is Fair Weekend, and we're really excited about it. We'll start with a 10 o'clock parade on Friday. This is our 99th fair, so one more until our 100th. We're excited to have Jim and Celinda Palmer as our parade marshals, and we'll honor them at the parade and then later at a luncheon. So we're real excited for that, and it's always exciting when the carnival pulls up in town. And I notice when we put out any kind of announcement on Facebook or social media, we'll get a few likes here and there, but as soon as we put information on the carnival, there's hundreds of likes and comments and questions and everything. So we're excited. There's been so much work that's gone into it. I'm really proud of Trey and Rose and Jim and everyone that's been getting ready for this. HR too, we hire 50 employees, temporary employees to help us with the fair, and they stay very busy just keeping things clean, security, trash, tickets, everything you can think of. It takes quite a bit. We'll have over 20,000 people that'll come through the gates this weekend. As long as the weather holds up, there is some weather scheduled that we're, of course, keeping our eye on. But I want to thank the Board of Supervisors for your support of the fair and everything that you've done and will do here in the coming week too. So thank you. Our highway yard's been really busy. They finished flush coating since our last meeting. They've been painting our lines back on the road since then, and they've been real busy responding to any kind of storm cleanup that we've had, and they've been going through and mowing shoulders, cutting brush, and doing all those things. The fissure over at Bonita's surfaced again, and we had to spend some time down there working on that and making the road safe down in that area for that. In engineering, Eric and Johnny have been super busy on a lot of different projects. We'll probably hear an update on Tally Wash today and some other items that they've been working on. And then, as I mentioned, our big thing for planning and zoning is that clean and lean ordinance that we'll talk about here later. So that's my report for now, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Manager Welker. We'll turn the time over to Vice Chairman David.
Thank you. In the 3 weeks since our last meeting, it's been busy and productive and great opportunities to represent the county. We had a work session with Arizona Department of Environmental Quality following our last meeting, and they have a local representative, and doesn't mean that we'll be able to make a lot of changes, but we expressed some concerns, and we do have a local contact now. And later that day, we talked with the BLM. We're a quarterly meeting, and they talked about budget concerns and some big projects, most notably there at the dunes. And they are planning to. They don't like it. They'd like to shut it down, but they're going to keep the dunes, that facility open as they do their massive multi-million-dollar improvement project, which is great. Following day was Constitution Day at the college, and Arizona Supreme Court Justice Clint Bollock addressed a nearly full auditorium, and it was really excellent. And later that day, there's a committee to end homelessness that I attended, and we're planning on getting an account. In January we canvass and go through and find out how many homeless people we believe that there are, or people living in substandard conditions. Later that day, I was honored to present the Volunteer of the Year for Graham County to Tim Linden on behalf of the Sawyer family. And the following day, most of the board was at a Giving Machine kickoff luncheon for Graham County. It's going to be, they're going to feature three charities this year, and in addition to the international charities. And later that day, then I traveled to Phoenix for County Supervisors Association meetings, small county caucus, a new supervisor orientation where I was part of that group, and then a briefing, and returned home and just in time to go to the Daughters of the American Revolution Friends Night Out. They'd had a great Constitution discussion. Almost done. The following Monday, there's a Transportation Advisory Council meeting that I serve on the board, and went to the Safford City Council meeting. The Wednesday, there's a Gila Valley Arts Council, and they bring in great talent, and attended and supported that. Then we have a 5K and 10K run and ride sponsored by the EAC and the Lions Club organizational meeting. That's going to be the end of this month, that's last Saturday. And then I had the opportunity to address, this is a real privilege, the leadership class number 20, cohort 20, for the Chamber of Commerce. And that was the weekend of the high school reunion and Salsa Fest and Hispanic Heritage. I was there, and Ray Polanco, he was honored as the family of the year, family member of the year, and richly deserved. Following week, this last week, attended supporting our chairman and the passing of his grandmother. And then there was a Southeastern Arizona Government Executive Board meeting on Thursday, and then we had a county supervisors meeting, a briefing on the pension plans and efforts to improve working conditions and working the package, the compensation package, to do it responsibly. And then finally, Saturday, I had an opportunity to travel. Walt Maras was almost 30 years. He showed up the day of the floods in Clifton, and was a kind of an honorary but a very likable newspaper man there for the Copper Era. And he had a memorial service and a tribute. One of his great accomplishments is Mars Bluff, which is, as you come into Clifton, you look up and see the half a dozen flags. And he had owned that property and developed that. They've now got even more of a tribute to veterans, and that was one of his legacy achievements. That's my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Vice Chairman. Supervisor Howard?
Yeah, I was at a lot of the meetings that he just mentioned, but on the 16th, I was also a presenter at the Arizona Community Foundation to several grant award winners. On the 18th, I attended a FMI Grants Board review, which is a great thing for our community to get different funding from. And on the 29th, I attended at the Mount Graham Hospital, the new oncologist that they've hired at the Mount Graham Hospital to set up their oncology department, which will be a great thing. They've had one, and it was recently, the doctor had left, and now we have a new one, which is great for our valley. And on the 3rd, I attended a meeting out at the U of A Extension office for, there was probably 20 ranchers there. The main subject was the wolves and the devastation they do to the ranches and our wildlife. I spoke briefly there about it. We had a representative from Washington. I can't remember his name right off the bat, but it was very well received, and I really think we have an ear in Washington finally for this problem. The ranchers are being very persistent on this issue, and I think we are going to get somewhere with it. And just on a lighter note, I want to give a shout out to our county manager, Dustin. He recently took his time on Monday to go down to Globe and work all day down there on the recent floods and clean that up out his volunteerism is amazing. And also, it's not in his job description as well. He went out to the fairgrounds on Thursday and cleaned up and helped the fair workers because we're shorthanded. That's just going above and beyond as a county manager does. So I just really want to give you a thank you for that, Dustin, and what you do for us. And also, Clay, my condolences to your grandmother. That was a great service. You spoke very well. You did a great job. So that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Howard. I'll be brief. I attended some of the same things as the rest of the board. I wanted to piggyback on what Manager Welker said about the fairgrounds and what a great job Trey and his guys have done out there. If you haven't been out to the fairgrounds, you should drive through and take a look. The new parking lots look amazing. They did a good job. One of the things that I did attend that I want to give a shout out to is the Salsa Fest. The chamber did an amazing job. The City of Safford staff did a great job. It was a good turnout and just a good time. Had a good time at the Salsa Fest with my family. So moving on, we're going to close our regular meeting and go into a public hearing, and we will turn the time over to Steve McGoy with our Planning and Zoning Department.
Mr. Chairman. May I, point of executive privilege, just before Steve even though it's a hearing, I'd just like to say the Graham County Search and Rescue, they were called out and it served marvelously, and Steve was a reminder because he's on their search and rescue for the Globe Miami flooding, and didn't want them to not be recognized for remarkable work, swiftwater rescue kind of work and search and recovery. Thank you.
Thank you. We're here for a rezone hearing, rezone 941-25, parcel number 10620-008. This is incorrect in that it says it's 4 acres, maybe 0.4 acres. A request has been made to rezone a general land use to residential multifamily to build a duplex. The applicant is Carl Artman. The site address 961 West State Route 366. It is directly across the street from Mount Graham Market, across from the fuel pumps, actually. This went to the Planning and Zoning Commission and got a favorable recommendation unanimously. There was no opposition. And if he'd like to speak, or anyone would like to speak for or against, I guess now would be the time, unless you guys have questions for me first.
So it is just 0.4 acres.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's definitely not 4 acres.
Is there anybody here to speak on this? Okay. Do you have anything you want to say? If you do, you're welcome to come up to
Come on up and tell them what you want to do.
Well, my name's Carl Artman. Me and my brother purchased this property a couple years ago. Had a lot of trash and it was deemed unlivable. We got it cleaned up and would like to be afforded the opportunity to put some duplexes on there. It's 0.46 acres. All the utilities are already in place, and contacted the City of Safford to make sure the sewer would support it, and they will, so.
Great. I just want to commend you. That place, you guys have done a great job cleaning it up. It was a mess.
Yeah, thank you.
A mess is an understatement. You guys did a great job.
I appreciate it.
So, does anybody else have any questions for Carl?
No, this is just the ideal set of circumstances where you get blight reduced and new construction to help with the housing crisis, and what could be better?
Yeah.
I noticed there's a neighbor or two here. Do they want to speak? Cesar? Did you want to? Come on up. No, come up here.
I'm scared of the microphone.
Yeah, right.
Because everybody's hello. Yeah, I live in the neighborhood for about 50 years or so. So I'm very familiar with the neighborhood and the landscape in that area. So I'm glad that Mr. Arma is building a house on there. Because that area, sometimes, in some areas, I mean sub-areas, they're really down. I mean ugly, unsightful, eyesore. So I'm very glad for him that he's building the house down there. So I don't know what the influence or what the responsibility of the county is when it comes to those areas. Who enforces the cleanliness, the appearance? Because that area used to be good at one time, very good. Nowadays is if this. So I'm very glad for you building that house down there, man. And as I said before, I feel more comfortable speaking away from the microphone, so bear with me, please, my nonsense. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, any questions, concerns from the board? Do we have a motion?
No, I'd be glad to make a motion with the amendment of the, moving it to 4.46 acres and to approve this as read.
And I'm pleased to second Supervisor Howard's motion.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you. Our second one is an actual conditional use permit. It originally had a use permit on it. I think it was granted in 2015, if I remember correctly, to Kenny and Ellen Ferguson for a wedding venue. Savannah Peterson has purchased it, probably thinking that that transferred, but it doesn't. So she would have to come to you and get the same thing to continue that wedding venue, and that is her purpose here today. It's at the corner of High Mesa Road and Barney Lane, and it has been through this process once before. It had some opposition back then, but we haven't heard any opposition since it came to fruition. I think it was 2015 that this went into, and if she's here or just because I don't see somebody doesn't mean they're not here. So,
Is anybody here to speak on this? Okay.
if I can answer any questions, I will. The commission gave a favorable recommendation unanimously.
So I've been to a couple weddings or receptions at this venue, and it's a nice, quiet setup, and it has good parking, and just a neat little place.
I think this is just something that's ongoing. It's been used. We approved it years ago for it to go. Didn't seem to cause any problems, so I have no issue with keeping it ongoing at this time.
The conditions that were placed on it previously were that 10 o'clock the noise level had to come down, and they had to create a parking space inside the property because the neighbors to the south didn't want them parking on their property, and they did all that years ago.
And these conditions will be still in place.
If you want them
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I recall that indeed was the major, in addition to the noise, was just the concern. No one knows what the frequency of use would be, and having it 3 or 4 times a month, it shouldn't be a burden to anybody. But if you know, and there's spaces that they could develop more parking, and I'd support in the future removing the conditional use if they develop more on-site parking or adjacent parking. But as it is, I'm fine with just transferring the conditional use or granting a conditional use.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll move that we go ahead and in the case of parcel 106-05-392, the 2.5 acres, that we grant the conditional use permit to operate a wedding venue for Savannah Peterson up on Barney Lane and High Mesa Road.
I'll second it.
Before you vote, can I just make sure there wasn't anybody here to speak for or against it? I didn't see anybody, but there's some faces in the audience. I don't know. So, okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. All right, so we're going to go ahead and close our public hearing and go back into our regular meeting. We will have our call to the public, and before we start, I'd just like to let anyone know that is here for a call to the public that you have 3 minutes. There is a timer up here, and we would like to keep it to the 3 minutes. We have a Louis Wallace.
I want to sit there. I came in because there are no police out here that do anything for us. Traffic-wise, yesterday I almost was slammed into while I'm doing the speed limit. Everybody pushes off. That's highway patrol. Nobody out here does anything. I drive for a living. I drive these roads. You can go into Pima, you can go into Thatcher, any time of the morning, day or night, and these people speed. These people, I almost lost my life. You guys need to get cops out here that are trained to deal with these CDL trucks, because Highway Patrol only has 9 in the state of Arizona, and they're kept in Pima County and Maricopa County, all those highways. There's none out here to keep these truck drivers in check. There's nobody out here keeping these drivers in check. I don't care if they're your guys' family, friends, there's laws. Half these cops out here, you don't even know how, you have to explain laws to them. I didn't report, my car got shot by a BB across the highway a week and a half ago on a Wednesday. I didn't report it because I know nothing will get done about it. This is getting ridiculous. It's not just the Blythe, like the young man that's out of control out here. It's all the crime. You take care of the little stuff, you take care of the big stuff. Point blank, it's simple. You want to fight the drugs and all that, you start enforcing the little laws out here. You start pulling people over and you catch the criminals. You catch the people out there drunk driving all the time. Because I guarantee you, out there on 191, past the churches, you'll find all kinds of drunk drivers. There's several bars out there, but everybody out that way knows that. That's why they don't come into town, because there's no cops or nothing out there. There's no cops, nothing anywhere in this. I drove last, I want to say Tuesday, this county at 1 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't sleep. And that's what I do, is I love to drive when I can't sleep. And I couldn't find a cop anywhere in this county, anywhere, on any of these roads. So where are they hiding? Why aren't they doing their jobs? You guys got to start doing something to get people stepping up, doing their jobs on all aspects. The Blythe, the crime, everything, because it's getting out of control. And a lot of these towns, you can go into Thatcher, Pima, even Safford. You find the cops, they're all off the road, out of the way, not doing nothing. What are they being paid for? That's corruption. When cops aren't doing their job, that's corruption. You guys, how they make it sound, we sound like we got more crime in a 4,000-mile area than Pima County or Maricopa County, and we don't. It's just taking care of the little stuff.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wallace. Appreciate you being here today.
Mr. Chairman, I just note, in called public, of course, we can't respond. But Mr. Wallace is one of my constituents. He lives there in Thunderbird, and I get calls from him about concerns about what he just mentioned, as well as animal control. So he's good eyes and ears.
All right. Okay. No more, we don't have any other calls to the public? Okay. We're going to open the following bids for our Main Street building remodel.
This first bid is Anderson Remodeling LLC. Total cost including tax, $340,000 even.
How much was it, Dustin? I'm sorry.
$340,000.
And that was,
And Anderson Remodeling.
okay, thank you.
This one is Aztec Contracting LLC. Total cost $465,790. This is Lunt Construction, $306,310. This is BNT Construction, $356,862.
That's just left over.
All right. We appreciate everybody that turned in bids for those, and we will go over them and make a decision.
Yeah, if you, go ahead, Chairman David.
I'll make a motion, Chairman John, Chairman Mack, I'm sorry. Thinking about your grandma, Chairman Mack, that we go ahead and have those 4 bids reviewed for compliance and conformance with the documents, and then have after they've been reviewed by staff for compliance, that we authorize the lowest conforming bidder be awarded the work.
And I will second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. And just again, want to thank everybody for being here today. That'll be the end of our meeting, and we will go ahead and adjourn.